Welcome back, Commanders. This Council of Edmon has approved the Phoenix Point review. Well, I had to start with an XCOM joke because Phoenix Point is made by Gallup, and Gallup is the guy behind XCOM. So, I've entitled this video, Should You Buy Phoenix Point? Because start of January, I'm going to do a full Legendary difficulty campaign for Phoenix Point, which I'm sure you guys will love. But, for the moment, the question on everyone's lips is, should you buy Phoenix Point? And it's something that I wanted to answer straight away, because this game has got some really complicated history, and it's like it's an expert in making a bad impression. So, without further ado, let's cut into what the issues are with this game. So, there's a lot that's really good about the game, and it feels to me like there's a great fun game here trying to get out if you give it a chance. But it makes a terrible impression, and that's both inside and outside the game. So let's start a game here, and I'll show you guys what I mean. So we'll start the game with the tutorial enabled. Now, those of you who played the XCOM remake, and I'm going to have to make comparisons to the XCOM remake, of course, because it's a similar kind of game. You remember that there was a tutorial mission with, you know, pumping music, really gripping. The helicopter flies in, your troops are in the back, the helicopter lands, they come out. It all looks really realistic and cool. There's a whole beautiful scripted dialogue.
I am the last leader of the Phoenix Project.
That takes you all the way to the
if you are hearing this, I am most likely
all
dead.
the way to the end of the mission. Basically, all your moves are done for you, but in a very
has been
clean,
sent to
realistic
pick you
way.
up, and its artificial intelligence will take you
So,
to
anyway.
Phoenix Point. Get to it quickly and safely.
This is the intro here, and that's literally it. Woof! We're done for the tutorial intro. Now, funnily enough, the tutorial intro is different to the standard intro, and a few other things, but we'll come back to that. So yeah, the funny part was that first mission in XCOM, that tutorial mission, was just so beautifully made, and no other mission was like it. You know, no other mission had Bradley going, you know, all right, Alpha 1. Move up to that cover position. Let's get a better look at that corpse. And, you know, Varen chiming in like, my God, what's happened to that man? And it was brilliant. It was gripping. It made a great first impression. And your first impression of Phoenix Point is console instructions. Although it's got PC instructions as well. So it's not detecting whether you've got a gamepad connected or not. It's just giving you this huge box with the instructions in, which you can't close. It won't let you close it. So I thought to myself, okay, all right, this is this is the how to move your guys around tutorial. No problem.
Gotta be quick.
Let's move. And then it's like, oh, there's an alien. Boom, just like that. We've been introduced to our first alien like that. With all the tension of a kid's birthday party. And I just thought to myself, you know, XCOM made a really big deal out of your first encounter. And I know that this is sort of like a, you know, post-humanity falling, like the alien invasion's been going on for a while kind of a game, and that's part of the plot. But, you know, the players have not been a part of that, so you presume that the main characters, your first soldiers or whatever, have not been a part of that either. You know, give me some build-up here. But there's no build-up at all. You're just literally
Targeting.
Going for it. My turn here. Okay, we took a hit. Now the funny part is that this box can be dismissed, but these ones can't. What the logic behind that is, I have no clue. But anyway, I mean, it's the tutorial, but it just makes for a bad impression.
One less to worry about.
You'll see there that the enemy ends its turn facing the wrong way, so it's easy to kill, which is kind of inexplicable. And of course, you can't really explain that. It's just done for tutorial's sake. So you'll see here, these other new enemies appear without much fanfare, and then it's just like, yeah, kill them, which I will proceed to do. But it doesn't really explain anything else. Like, what's this M and N going on here? Is this M and N the console controls? M and N. Okay, so that lets me tab. Okay, so we worked it out. I already knew what it did, but, you know, in other games, you've always used tab for tabbing through troops, or shift tab for tabbing through abilities, or whatever. So this M and N thing is new. And that's fine, but why not explain that somewhere instead of just having a weird glowy M and N box just kind of sat there? I don't know. Oh, that was a bad shot. Should have aimed that one a bit more carefully. I should definitely kill this dude. You can one-shot him, which is what I should have done. But not to worry. So, another thing about this game is, and as I said, it feels very tactical and very fun. So it feels like there's a lot to it. But, you know, once again, can I destroy this object or can I not? What is my chance to hit? There are no chances to hit in the game. You just sort of have to aim and guess that these shots will enter the circle where you want them to. So you can see there we actually managed to destroy the wall behind the alien, but not the box that's just kind of there. The alien blatantly said "fuck you" there. There are some funny things in the game. But yeah. This game seems to be the master of sort of making a bad impression from the offset, despite it feeling like it has great potential to be a good game.
Enemy down. I think. It smells like trouble.
Right, let's go. I'll say that the voice acting is that great either. So before this game even came out, it was given a very troubled first impression, and that was simply because it was kickstarted, and and then it went Epic exclusive after the Kickstarter promised that it would be on GOG and Steam, which really annoyed a lot of people. And then, you know, that's one thing, that's a bad enough impression. But then there's also a load of DLC already. Like 5 DLCs are stated already. And you know, some of these DLCs are they feel like the kind of stuff that should be in an XCOM game. So, for example, one of the DLCs is Festering Skies, which is a DLC that covers
If you are hearing
aircraft,
this message,
fighter
an alert
planes
has been triggered and you will
on
need
the
to clear out
geoscape
the
level.
enemy forces. There may be
And
others
that's,
who receive this signal. Help them if you can.
That's something that came with the
It's
original
all up to you
XCOM,
now. Good luck, operatives.
you know, out of the
Signs
box. So it's not even like there's a basic version of the fighter sort of part of the game in this game right now. There isn't. It just doesn't exist. And if you want it, you're gonna have to buy a DLC for it. And I just find that to be quite. If you're an old school XCOM guy, you might find it very off-putting to see, you know, 5 DLCs listed there and day 1 DLC. Not that the Festering Skies is a day 1 DLC itself, but there are some day 1 DLCs. And think to yourself, you know, it's features that should be in the game, surely. The base game. It reminds me of Cities Skylines. It introduced disasters into the city building game. And like every, you know, every game that there ever was. Okay, it will only let me take what it's asked me to take. Every city building game that there ever was had disasters in it. You would be building your city and then a house would catch on fire, and you know, later on the game would challenge you with earthquakes and all kinds of other bits and pieces. But Cities Skylines introduced it as a paid-for DLC for a feature that every other city building game has always felt like it was part of the core concept. And so it puts you into a position where I think this game is fun. I played it for about 4 or 5 hours so far, all on legendary difficulty because there's no point in practicing for a lesser difficulty. And I think it's really quite a fun game and I could really get into it. But
Sprinting.
it's a game that's trying so hard to make you hate it. Because of the way it's been handled, the way it makes a first impression. Like, think about the music right now. So, you know, we've just found 2 enemies in our home base here. And the music is like some sort of ambient kind of, you know, nothing is going on tune. Dun 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 dun. Like, where is my oh shit? Dun 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 dun. Like, you know, the enemy is right there. This is a serious situation right now. We're gonna have some pumping ass music for you to fight to. Instead, it's like there's, you know, it's like another day at the countryside here. We're just chilling out right now. We're having a relaxing evening in our base, and there are no enemies, according to the music. And it just makes you wonder, like, what's going on. Splat. Okay, so we're ending turn despite the fact that this person's bleeding away. There are some other things that really bother me, like,
Ready for action.
you know, one thing that you can do is a melee attack, which is listed down here. But, God knows how much damage it does. Does the damage change with different weapons?
Reposition.
No clue. And it doesn't feel like there's any real way to find out. In fact, I did do some research, and you know, I think there was meant to be an option somewhere that showed you extra details, but I can't find it. There's keyboard bindings. Oh, next soldier is tab, but it's never seemed to work for me, which is odd. So I've always just clicked on everything individually. Zoom in, zoom out, ready item. It's all pretty standard actions. Yeah. There doesn't seem to be any way to look at the very details of your weapons or soldiers or anything. You know, if I want information about this rifle, how much damage it does is displayed, and when you start using up the ammo counter is displayed as well. But nothing else about it is displayed.
Yes.
Let's go. This is kind of cool. So this dude, he has the issue that he can either move or fire, but he can't seem to do both. Because his main weapon takes 3 chevrons, three action points to use. So he basically struggles to do anything in the same turn. He either fires or he moves. And you'll notice here that this dude did a lot less damage because he's got heavier armor. But it's really difficult to know or to tell what damage you're going to do.
Ready to fire.
So I feel like it's quite hard to plan exactly what you're doing.
Standing by.
Because it's hard to actually
Be right there.
it's hard to know exactly what your weapons are going to do and when. I know that the rifle does 25 to 35 times 6 damage. But I didn't find that out from anywhere inside the actual tactical layer. I actually had to go to the manufacturing on the geoscape, where you build extra weapons, and then I found that information there.
Providing overwatch.
So there is a character info panel which you can use. So you can see here we've got Overwatch and Assault training. But, you know... Oh, look, the information on the weapon is in here. Okay, you're forgiven. It's in here too. But there are some things which are hidden. And they're important, but you have no clue what they are. So, for example, there's a stat called Perception. But it's not listed anywhere. The game makes references to Perception in some of the abilities. But what Perception is, or what it does, it's a total mystery to you until you actually work it out manually. Well, by playing the game and you know, if you get improved Perception and then noting the difference. Perception, I believe, changes your Overwatch reaction range, by the way. In case you're wondering. But I can't guarantee that, because it's not like the game has told me anywhere that is what that does.
Hostile neutralized.
So this is another one of these where the AI has put you in a terrible position which you must unpick.
On it.
Well, you basically can't miss this boy. You can, however, fail to kill him. You may find yourself needing to aim these weapons all the time. And of course, the difference between landing every shot and landing most of your shots can be the difference between actually killing your enemy. So here, see, here is Bash. Can you guess how much damage Bash will do? From this interface here? Well, it does 42, but you know that after you've done it. You know it after you've done it, but there's no actual way to know before you've done it. Now, here's something funny, which I don't think anyone's mentioned yet. The tutorial start is considerably worse than the standard start. And I'll show you what I mean.
The Phoenix Project was founded on October 24th, 1944.
We'll skip that intro because we'll see that intro again very shortly. So here, you can see that we've started with this base. We've started with 85 resources and 440 materials. Okay, we've had to repair our vehicle bay, which is going to take 10 hours. So here's the date 1/1/2047. So we gotta make those repairs. There's nothing else we can do. So 10 hours are now being burnt doing this. Okay, so that's 10 hours burnt. Now we have our craft. And we can go to this unexplored site and explore it. So, pretty standard fare. Okay, and now we can start this mission if we wish. Which I'm not going to do it right now. And then after you've done that mission, you'll be able to go back to base and start researching, and then the game will actually properly start. Note the time here that we've burnt 15 hours already. Then after the mission going back home, you'll have burnt another hour or so, and so on and so forth. Now, if we go back to the main menu, so that's the geoscape, the main start of the game. Now if you start the new game without the tutorial, and you don't keep the EXP from those first 2 tutorial missions, as far as I can tell, your dudes are reset back down to level 1. So you don't even get any benefit from the extra combat. So if you start without the tutorial, which is one of these really interesting things, you'll see that the start is much easier, which it hurts my brain. Why would you make it easier for people who are not doing the tutorial?
The Phoenix Project was founded on October 24th, 1945. The Second War to end all wars.
So this is the main intro.
There were those who understood that we could no longer afford to think.
And you'll notice that the whole bit with the scarab and that is gone.
The Phoenix Project
so that's similar to XCOM.
Navigated the political conflicts of its era. That was our golden age. Phoenix Project operatives scoured the world for clues. We had bases in 24 countries. Even the
very Unity intros.
But out there, On the far side of the moon began
Unity
our
intros, they all look the
downfall.
same to
The
me.
failure of the
They're
Phoenix
all
Two
like just sliding
exposed us
artwork.
to our enemies in the UN, stripped of resources and scattered to the winds. We were reduced to a secret, a memory. When the Pandora virus woke up, we should have been the first line of defense. When huge clouds of mist appeared over the sea, when people started vanishing, we should
Unity
have figured
sliding
out what was
artwork
going on.
intros.
And when those people started coming back, changed, hostile, alien, we should have been ready to
Well,
fight.
BattleTech fans will
Failed. The
will be very
ecosystem
familiar
started
with this.
to change, imperceptibly at first, then faster and faster. 3 factions arose. New Jericho, trying to restore order and purity. Sanhedrin, hoping to build a world without hierarchies. And the disciples of Anu, a new syncretic religion dedicated to adaptation and biological change. At war with the world and at odds with each other, these factions cannot find a way forward. Now the mist is returning and armies are rising from the sea. Without the Phoenix Project, humanity will fall. It's time to rise from the ashes.
Okay, so that's the intro, which is quite cool for a sliding Unity intro. Where you start is totally random, of course, but you can see here that a load of nearby events have actually been revealed to you from the offset. So you're starting at the same date and time. So basically, if you play without the tutorial, you have a really significant advantage because the scan system here, so this is the scan system that lets you reveal events, it takes a long time to scan. And you want to do a full scan to not waste time. So if you go somewhere and do a full scan, then you're going to find that, by having a load of points available for you to do straight away, you can actually go off and do those points before you scan, which gives you time to get established. If I were to scan now, it would take considerable time to do so. Let's just show it. So you can scan here, and then you'll see that time is burning to do the scan. Now, obviously, you can do your research and manufacturing at the same time. I'm not going to right now because I'm just showing you guys. 10. So I think a complete scan will take like a day, more than a day. So you can see that technology is advancing and we've not even encountered anybody yet. Which is another weird thing, that we know what's going on even though we've not actually encountered anyone at this point.
Scan complete.
Alright, so a complete scan takes 3 days. And that's a huge amount of time. If you wanted to do a complete scan, and which is probably the most efficient way to do things, is to do a complete scan here and then find something somewhere a bit further away and do a complete scan there, and so on. And if you're going to do that, it's going to take a lot of time. But if you start without the tutorial, you have a number of events ready to go. So you can just go. Manufacturing is basically the same as all the previous XCOM games. So you just queue stuff up. What is different is making basic weapons is not instant. So if you hire a new soldier, which by the way is a total pain in the ass, if you hire a new soldier, you will need to make weapons for them, or have weapons in stock, and you will not be able to just instantly get them. You will actually have to manufacture them, which will take time. And likewise, you will have to manufacture the basic armors, which will also take time. There's no free lunch with the basic technology in this game, which can be very awkward. And speaking of awkward, Soldiers are an incredibly precious commodity in this game, which I guess adds to the, you know, the tactical nature of it and so on. But you can't just get replacement soldiers. You can't just hire warm bodies and train them up. You actually have to befriend the various factions. See if I can find any. And then you have to hire the dude. And each faction has a story mission that you need to do straight away. Well, you don't have to do it straight away, you can cancel, but they're actually quite hard missions. Once again, nothing is really explained here. But you can right-click and go in and do things. This is obviously there's nothing we can do here right now apart from raid, which we're not going to do because that would be crazy. But if there were any soldiers there, then they would appear for hiring. Let's see if I can find, just to sort of show you. Again, everything takes time. Alright, there's loads of stuff here. Huh. This is this is actually a huge amount of resources to pick up so early in the game. Somewhere near you will be the first 3 faction bases. But it's none of these. So you can see here, we've done quite a lot of work and we've not actually managed to recruit anybody. Oh, here we go. So here's the New Jericho people. Right, before we start the New Jericho mission, so this is the special mission here. Alright, they have a training center. So, in order to actually, and once again, I'm not playing efficiently here. This is just for the purposes of giving you guys a first impression of the game. You need to research the first thing, atmospheric analysis. So you got to research that.
Research complete.
And then you actually have to research how to recruit people. So this is like critical research that you absolutely must do right from the offset. Oh wow. The mist has spawned. So this is the mist here. And it's actually spawned right next to our base. It is like, it's random where it spawns. And it's actually spawned right on top of us. So this would actually be a really hard mission, a really hard campaign. Because this mist has actually appeared literally on our doorstep. Within 4 days it's on us. Which has given us no time at all. The other one has appeared over here, which is fine. And there's no way to get rid of it so early on in the game. So you're gonna be under pressure in this game straight away, and that's totally RNG. But then all the XCOM games had totally RNG nonsense going on. Even Xenonauts had totally RNG nonsense going on.
Research complete.
So our base now, I think, is now in a mist zone already. Which puts you in a really bad position. The base building is just totally standard XCOM fare. original XCOM fare. And one thing is you can convert via the use of havens. You can convert one resource into another, which makes life very easy. If you just produce a resource, it doesn't matter which one. So food is a good one because you can build lots of farms early on. If you produce a resource of any kind, you can then trade it away for the other resources. So here, you can see that there's a guy that we can hire, but he costs 390 food, which we don't have. So we would have to gain those resources before we could hire somebody. But I just wanted to show you how much it costs to hire a soldier. So it means if you lose a soldier, you're going to be in big trouble. Pretty much immediately. You can't lose anybody. It's not like they're cheap as chips like in XCOM, and it's like really veteran soldiers that you don't want to lose at all costs. Every soldier is ridiculously precious, and losing even one could probably pressure you into a game over. This is actually a really horrible start here. But it's good. It demonstrates, I think, what will be very frustrating about this game for a lot of people, which is that there's a lot of potential for RNG difficulty. That not every campaign is going to be as difficult as every other campaign. It's something that I was hoping a new XCOM game would move away from, which is totally RNG difficulty. So this is the deployment screen for our fight. Could it have any less tension? You know, in the XCOM remake, of course, those of you who have not played it, it's brilliant, really well made and well designed. And you had the whole, you know, dun 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 dun, like, you know, pumping music. We are going into a fight, and we have to be ready to fight. And you know, there's none of that here. This is just kind of like mysterious music, if you will. Okay, so we've loaded out our characters with whatever. This guy has not got the encumbrance to actually carry anything but what he sort of came to the party with. Welcome to the party. Now the game itself, which we're going to look at now, the actual combat, the freeform combat, is really quite good. Although it can be frustrating at times, because it's very hard to get a shot. Where you think that you would have a shot very easily, it's sometimes very hard to get one. If you're stood behind cover, you can't really use the auto aim to shoot, the manual aim to shoot around the corner. You have to rely on the auto, because when you click manual aim, you're still behind cover, so all you see is a wall. It's stuff you think that they would have thought about. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So this is the edge of the map. This fort in the middle, I guess, is the new Jericho base. So you move behind cover here, let's say, here.
Heading out.
Alright, so we're behind cover. So if you go to take a shot, you see the cover is totally in your way. You can't lean out from behind the cover. And this cover is slanted, so it's not as bad as some, but there are some, you know, like flat walls. Flat walls have this issue where you can't shoot around them except by using the standard shot, because you can't see around them. You see the same issue here with Overwatch. So the overwatch here is sort of, at least it's saying to me that I can't overwatch this area because a cover is in the way. But how does that make sense? It would almost indicate to you that, you know, half cover is superior to standard cover.
Repositioning, prioritizing speed.
Okay.
They can't scare me.
I know, for some reason, I know these dudes are where they are. Which is also kind of odd. There's a guy on the roof.
Ready for action.
But I can't see the guy on the roof.
Channel open.
Standing by.
So let's
I got this covered.
set up Overwatch here now. We know roughly where the enemies are.
I'm on Overwatch.
Born again anarchist.
Okay, he dropped down. Okay, there's only one way for them to go now. Now that he's dropped down, and that's through this entrance here, so let's move.
Making haste.
Now what's also interesting is there are, you have a willpower bar, which controls things like whether you panic or not,
Ready for action.
and your resistance to mind control. But it also is your resource for special abilities, and some of the special abilities are really, really powerful. Such as this jump pack.
Moving to position.
We'll have to move away from the wall to use it, though, correctly. And some of the buildings can just be used relentlessly. So some of them just require will points, they don't require any action points. Which means that a lot of the strategies that you see posted on the Reddit about this game
What's our plan?
revolve around relentlessly using abilities. Okay, I didn't even notice he was there.
They can't scare me.
But we'll see the issue with corners now. So I'm in cover here, and so is he. I can't shoot him. See, there's no way for me to actually get a clean shot on him. And forget the guy on the roof. Now I could hit that weapon actually, but it just it highlights a real point with the game, which is that you can really struggle to hit. So here now we have a lock on this dude, and we also have a lock on this dude. But you can see how the cover really gets in the way. So if I go to this guy's fine. But the guy up there, you can't take a manual shot against him because you can't see through the tree. So you can take a standard shot, but not an aimed shot because it's total bushwork. It appears like it won't matter where I hit this guy, he's gonna die. As long as I hit him. Because this weapon is armor piercing, so...
That was a kill. Aim and...
Boom. It's one of the more classic problems, which is trying to throw a grenade over a wall.
Receiving loud and clear.
Should probably try and use this soldier to do it. That looks like it would go over. Right? That looks like it would go over. But I'm not getting a highlight here that it would hit. So will it hit or won't it hit? See, on this side you can see, look, that it's saying that it will throw over without issue. So that looks clean. So what happens if we take it? It won't let you, see? You can't click. I'm left clicking right now. Can't. It's hard to show on stream, but you can't left click unless the game tells you it's a valid throw. So this is a valid. Where it's gone red, it's a valid throw. So even though that looks totally like a good, you know, you might be over here, and you're assessing this, and you're like, oh, could I throw a grenade over that wall? That looks like I could throw a grenade over that wall, and then you find suddenly that you can't.
Moving to position.
What about now? Nope. So stuff like that could be critical to your strategy, totally critical to your strategy. And you can just be totally caught out. You know, once again, can I stand here and put an Overwatch here, or can I not? There are abilities that increase grenade throwing capability, but you know, you'd think that throwing a grenade over this wall would not be hard, but apparently it's impossible. Let's overwatch this area, but I don't think it will work. That's the problem. Sniper has a shot from there, but not enough action points to take it.
I'm gonna do this.
Oh, he legged it. So you can see, look, he's just moved. He's just moved straight into this cover here, even though the Overwatch guy is there, because this cover is in the way.
Fire!
So where that should be a perfectly decent Overwatch shot. It's not. Because of the way cover works.
Receiving loud and clear.
Or because of the way Overwatch cone works. I cannot tell my guy to stand behind this cover and wait for a guy coming out here. And stuff like that is going to really frustrate you at certain points. You know, there will be moments where a battle will be made or broken by whether you can make an Overwatch shot. And then you won't make the shot and you'll be like, it's bullshit. And you'd be right, it would be. And that's the worst part about it. That's some really, yeah. It's really sort of things that will really irritate you, basically. See, I can't throw this grenade here either. You know, how hard is it to post this grenade over this pillar? Or just toss it around the corner? But you can't.
Standing by. I need to recover.
So the only thing I can do here is use my handgun. The handgun is actually not a bad weapon. It's not got very good armor penetration, so...
Take this.
Right in the knees.
That was glorious.
Wow, he actually hit my handgun there.
What's our plan?
So if I want to throw a grenade, say from here... Oh, I spotted another enemy. What the hell is that? Whatever it is, it's on Overwatch. I don't know what that is. It looks like a robot or something. Can I... It's a dude. It's a priest with mind control. That's concerning. Yeah, look, see? I cannot, I could throw this grenade all the way over here without issue. But with this tree between me and the enemy, I cannot throw it here. Or here. So if you were relying on using a grenade right now, which is sort of... I was. I can't throw it. I can't throw it. It won't let me. I have to step out of cover. Like this. Which... At least the game does let you do partial moves, so you can see here that I'm not using a full action to move here, I'm just using a little bit of one. You've actually got to come out, make your throw.
Suck it!
I can do this all
Which, of
day.
course, stepping out of cover means you take reaction fire, and lots of it. And then step back in again. Which is like the least tactically advantageous thing you could possibly do. Is to constantly step out of cover. Allowing the enemy to shoot you.
Targeting.
I think at this range I can just shoot this guy's head clean off.
Take this. You like that?
You can see massive reaction fires going on here. I could bash the guy. But I don't have enough action points left to do anything else. Alright, I knocked him out, but he still returns fire. By the way, these special missions are not designed to be done immediately. You're supposed to come back to them later. So they're all very difficult.
Channel open.
Let's see if we can just turn this guy into paste. No, we missed.
Couldn't connect the shot.
And we're gonna get punished for it pretty hard. Now we'll see some deaths soon as well. There we go. And it doesn't really highlight your, you know, the deaths are not really highlighted or anything.
Here we go.
They just happen.
I can't do this. I'll be okay.
That guy will bleed to death next turn anyway. So you can see how this would actually be very difficult to win this mission early on. But a lot of the problems have come about from not being able to overwatch around corners, not being able to shoot around corners, can't throw grenades around corners, have to step out of cover to actually attack and then step back into cover, and taking reaction fire for it.
Steady.
You know, it's not good. And if this guy misses again, then we're as good as dead.
Pretty sure that was a kill.
He managed to react fire. You know, this cover is actually, in fact, most cover proves to be quite useless and actually a detriment to your well-being.
No!
Oof. So once again, same issue. Can't see the guy through the tree.
I want you gone.
And of course, you step out of cover to take the shot, so you're gonna be penalized for that. Right, so
Hope I can find cover.
we can likely still win this. We just have to play really carefully now.
Who knows?
Instead of me sort of showing you, I'm trying to show you all the things that can go wrong. And of course you can't win if you keep showing off all the stuff that can go wrong.
You can't scare me.
Okay.
I'm gonna do this.
Oh, there's two more.
I need an angle.
He needs an angle. It doesn't look like a great shot to me. I wish this guy had a med pack on him, but he doesn't, so.
Let's get moving.
Oh, that guy's bleeding. Badly. He's gonna die next turn. Don't miss. Alright, never mind. You get shot on the Overwatch while taking the shot. Okay, well, I just wanted to show off basically how all your plans can fall apart in terms of assessing the space for a grenade, for example, and then you can't throw it. Moving into what looks like a great position of cover, then not being able to shoot from there. And when you do shoot from cover, your guy comes out of cover to take the shot and then goes back in again, which means you take full reaction damage each and every time. There are a lot of flaws which, you know, an XCOM player, a turn-based strategy gamer, is going to find incredibly frustrating. You know, looking at a Battletech map, I can look at the topography of the map and know exactly where I can shoot from, where they can shoot from. If they're at this elevation and I'm at this elevation, I know that if my mech is at a certain point on the hill, I can shoot down, and they're going to have a broken shot shooting up, and all this kind of stuff. You can know what, you know, what's going to work and what doesn't. But the way the cover system works in this game, you'll find yourself without a shot a lot of the time, where you should have one. It's also totally random as to whether that shot will hit or not. You can't see a percentage chance that it's going to connect. You have a circle and you just kind of have to guess. But I have had, you know, shots where the enemy is completely within the circle and the shot has just flown off into space and not hit the target at all. Which, you know, you could say, well, that's XCOM baby kind of thing. But the game seems to imply that this, you know, the circle is where the rounds can possibly go. So, in theory, if the circle is inside the enemy, your chance to hit is 100%. But that doesn't seem to always be the case. And if it's not always the case, you know, I'd really like a, you know, strategists live on information. And I'd really like you to just tell me what my percentage chance to hit is so I can make a good decision, instead of just giving me a ring and making me guess. And even if you feel like you've learnt the ring, that doesn't necessarily mean that you can do anything. By the way, the game is over because we haven't got any troops left, and you can't buy any more. It's impossible to buy any more at this point in the game. So if you lose your dudes, the game is over, but it's not over, which is another funny thing. So anyway, I just wanted to demonstrate Phoenix Point, get a lot of things off my chest with it. As to whether you buy the game or not, a lot of people are saying like the game is, you know, unfinished or buggy or whatever. I wouldn't say I've encountered any bugs, but problems in the tactical layer with Overwatch and with the way cover works and all that kind of thing are going to annoy you. They are going to frustrate you. You're going to find the perfect piece of cover and then find that you can't shoot around it or can't throw a grenade past it, and that the only thing that you can do is be forced to step out, shoot, and then step back in again. But stepping out, even for one tile, uses up an action point. Of course, if you can move 8 tiles per action point, then you can move another 7 tiles without consuming an action point. But, you know, rifles use 2 action points. So if you can stand still and make both shots, then you can fire twice. If you are forced to jiggle your guy in and out of cover, then you can only fire once. And that's huge. But whether the cover will work as advertised or not seems to be a total mystery. Sometimes you're behind cover and you can shoot round the corner without any problems. Sometimes you're behind cover and you can't shoot at all. Like with this new Jericho base with the concrete walls there. You know, we were in a position there waiting for the guy to come round the corner, and our Overwatch shot is just pointed at the wall. We can't order this guy that's in that tile to aim around the cover, or, you know, where you would have in XCOM, you would have a shot there, But in Phoenix Point, you don't have a shot. You would only have a shot if you stepped out of cover. So you could only overwatch the corner if you step right out from the corner and overwatch it from there. You can't get a good position to overwatch from. And likewise with the tree. Just showing you guys with the tree as well. It's totally in your way, so you can't make the shots. And yet the enemy can just shoot through it and know exactly where you are. So the rules are not equally applied and are very confusing. I'm sure I'll get used to it the more I play it, but I think you guys will... veteran turn-based strategy players will find this stuff really irritating, really annoying. You know, the grenade thing alone will be so frustrating for you at various points in this game that you'll move somewhere and you think, yep, I could throw a grenade here, no problem. And then you can't. And it's not even really explaining why. You have a clear path, your throw is high enough, so there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to, but it won't let you. Some other fences and walls you can throw over. So it's not even like it's consistent that you can't throw over walls. Sometimes you can. Which walls you can throw over and which ones you can't judge it visually. You could look at it visually and think, yup, I could throw over that, it's low enough, like we did with the New Jericho wall. But actually you can't. And then you might look at another wall, like a fence or something with, you know, jagged top or whatever, and think, oh, I probably couldn't throw a grenade over that. And the game will actually let you throw the grenade. On examination, it will give you the red line and indicate that yes, you can throw it there. Once again, from what I can see, no real clarity as to when it's going to work and when it's not going to work. So anyway, this is my first impressions of Phoenix Point. At the moment, I'm just experimenting with it, like I did with this review. I'm just playing around with it just to show you guys what, you know, the problems, as well as because I have had a lot of fun playing it as well. But some of the problems will annoy you. And so sort of going all the way back to the beginning, you know, should you buy it or not? If you're the kind of person who gets frustrated with a game, I can't recommend this game, because you will be frustrated. Because you will not be able to make a critical shot through no fault of your own. You'll have made a good decision, you'll have picked a piece of cover that looks great, you'll have moved behind that cover, to, you know, the enemy will be right there next to it, and you won't be able to shoot. And then you'll be like, well, that's my move ruined. And it will frustrate you, it will annoy you. And half of the comments I've seen is, you know, oh, just save and reload before every mission, save, reload before shots, you know. Basically, people are saving, moving, and seeing if they can actually make the move that they wanted to make, and then loading if they can. So they're having to explore the terrain by save and reload, because it's never obvious to them whether the move they want to make is a move that they can actually make. And obviously, after you've played the game for like 400 hours or something, you'll probably get a real feel for when you can and you can't, and you'll learn all these little oddities. But it doesn't feel good from the offset. And so that goes back to something else I was saying, which is this game makes a terrible first impression. And it does. It gives you a bad impression because a lot of these things don't feel right. They don't feel good. Now, whether that is something that this game can overcome with time and playing more remains to be seen. But yeah, it's been a mixed bag for me. So anyway, if you do decide to get the game, I know that a lot of sort of first impressions and reviews of Phoenix Point are painting it in a very good light, and that's largely because there's the Epic Supporter Creator program, of which, you know, I got a code for it because you can get a free voucher, which is totally worth it for you guys. So basically, you put the content creator name in when you buy a game on Epic. So in my case, it's TheEdmon, and then when you buy the game, you get like a $10 voucher, and I get some money for the channel. And so a lot of content creators out there are pushing the game, of course, because they want to get that money off of Epic. Probably people with far more fans and support than I've got, because I think you need a lot. I think at least like 200 people to use your code to get a payout, roughly. So that's not going to happen in my case, I don't think. But you guys should at least get the voucher if you're going to buy the game. But a lot of people are pushing it as being, you know, yes, this is fantastic. It's the next XCOM. It's great, and you're going to love it. You might love it. Is my final word on the matter. You might love it. For someone who has played a vast quantity of TBS games, you might love this game, but it's going to be frustrating, especially at the start. And it's not doing anything to improve its impression. The impression that you get of it when you first play it. So yeah, that is it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you guys appreciate my candor on this. It's the start of January, 1st of January, I'm going to play a Legendary campaign, and we'll go through the whole game. We'll get the game finished on Legendary difficulty. I will have a lot of fun. I don't doubt it. I've been practicing playing this game, and it's been a lot of fun. But the things I demonstrated to you in the last battle, you know, the inability to throw a grenade, the inability to make shots, all that kind of stuff, I'm getting more and more aware of it now, and that's how I knew that if I stood in certain places that I wasn't going to get a nice shot or anything. But that stuff is going to really frustrate you. It's going to be really annoying. And as you encounter new environments and new terrain and stuff, and you're learning that as well, and you're going to face these issues in many maps, and it's going to haunt you. So, yeah, it feels like there's a great game under here somewhere, trying to get out. But between the marketing of it and some of the more sort of frustrating issues with the combat, you may not enjoy it. You honestly might not enjoy this game if this stuff frustrates you too much. So should you purchase it or shouldn't you purchase it? Have a real hard think about it before you make that decision, because I think in your heart of hearts, if you're a TBS player for a long time, you'll have a threshold for how much frustrating or bullshit gameplay you can hack, and there may be a fair bit of it in this game from what I've seen so far, and it may really annoy you. But you can just save and reload all the time if you wish. I don't like to do that. It's not my thing. I like to play Iron Man. But that option is there, and that can help you circumvent the frustration by saving before your turn, and then actually seeing whether you can make the move that you want to make or not. But that's got to be it's going to be quite annoying, and it certainly won't be very entertaining for you guys to watch. So I will not be doing that in my playthrough. But yeah, that's it. I got it all off my chest. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm sorry if it's a bit wordy and a bit detailed, but there's a lot of nuance I really wanted to express. And that is it for now, and I will see you guys next time.